What's up, everybody? This is Domingo Hero Network of the Ice Barrier, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Video I'm going to be doing, guys, I am going to be doing a deck profile. And the deck profile I'm going to be doing in this video is going to be my updated version of my Battlin Boxer deck profile. And of course, so I'm going to be doing Battlin Boxers today, and I gotta say, I love Battlin Boxer. This deck is so much fun. Battlin Boxer is basically an XYZ based deck, and it's really amazing. Like, it's a lot of fun to play. I remember last year in August of 2023, Battlin Boxer got new support, as you all see, you know, with the support cards and stuff. It's amazing, and it's even more fun as well. And I remember in January 2024, earlier this year, that they have a new spell card, which I will get to that once I do the review of this deck profile. And not only that, but I also play a spell card that is from the Battle of Legends Terminal's Revenge that I decided to play in Battlin Boxers. And we're going to get to that deck profile right here and right now when we start off doing the main deck and the extra deck, as well as showing you guys all my card choices and ratios and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get this deck profile started. So here we go. We're going to start off with the main deck first. So, and to start off the main deck, you know, we're going to start off with the monsters. So for the monsters, we play some 3-ups here, and here it is. So I do play 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Promoter, 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Uppercutter, 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Cheap Second, and 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Sparer. So these are the 3-ups that we do play. These cards are amazing. Promoter is awesome in this deck. So this card has an effect where if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You contribute this card to special summon up to 2 Battlin Boxers monsters with different names from your deck except for Promoter. So basically, he is your rescue rabbit for Battlin Boxers. And he also has another effect where you can banish this card from the graveyard to increase or decrease the levels of all Battlin Boxers you currently control by 1. You can increase the level of Battlin Boxer by 1, or you can reduce it down to 1. And of course, you can only activate, you know, each effect of Promoter once per turn. But if you use this effect, you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this card's effect, except for Battlin Boxers. Which, that's not a problem because almost every monster you have are Battlin Boxers. So Promoter is amazing. It's going to help you go for your Battlin Boxer XYZ plays very, very quickly. And we got another card. We got Battlin Boxer Uppercutter. Uppercutter is a very good searcher as well. And if you want to know what Uppercutter does, Uppercutter has an effect where if this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Battlin Boxer monster or 1 counter trap from your deck to your hand, except for Uppercutter. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can activate one of these effects. Special summon 1 Battlin Boxer monster from your graveyard except for Uppercutter, or you can set 1 counter trap card from your graveyard to your field. But you can only use 1 Battlin Boxer Uppercutter's effect per turn only once that turn. So it's still a pretty good card. Yeah, it's a very hard once per turn, but you know, it's pretty good. The fact that you summon this card and search for a counter trap, you know, like your Battlin Boxing counter, cross counter, or Flamville counter, stuff like that. And you can even search for a Battlin Boxer monster as well. It helps you search for, like, if you want to go for Promoter or Cheap Second or any other Battlin Boxer card monsters, is pretty cool. And Uppercutter is one of the most important cards in Battlin Boxer, so it's very good. Cheap Second is pretty good as well. He has an effect where during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Battlin Boxer monster in addition to your normal summoning /set. So it's extra normal summoning, and you can only gain this effect once per turn. When your opponent declares an attack while you control a warrior or a fire monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do negate the attack, then banish 1 monster on the field until the end phase. You can only use this effect of Cheap Second once per turn. So it's pretty cool, you know, extra normal summoning to get your XYZ plays easily for Battlin Boxers, and negating an opponent's monster attack and then banishing until the end phase is pretty good. And then we got 3 copies of Sparer. Sparer is a pretty good extender. What he does is, if you control a Battlin Boxer monster, you can special summon this card for your hand. But if you do, you cannot conduct your battle phase for the rest of the turn. Yeah, you can't conduct your battle phase if you summon it, but it's not too bad though, because especially if you go first, you know, you always got to go for cards like your King Dempsey or your Leo and stuff like that. So even though it says you cannot conduct your battle phase if you summon this card, you do really need to play the 3 Sparers because it's a very good extender, help you go for your XYZs very easily. So yeah, and of course 3 copies of the Promoter, the Uppercutter, the Cheap Second, and Sparer is pretty good at 3 in my opinion. Alright, now for the other Battlin Boxer monsters that I do play, for the 2-ups that I do play, I play 2 copies of Battlin Boxer Switch Hitter, 2 copies of Battlin Boxer Veil, and 2 copies of the Battlin Boxer Glass Jaw. So Switch Hitter is very good. What he does is, when his card's normal summon, you can target 1 Battlin Boxer in graveyard and special summon that target. But you cannot special summon any monster to turn you activate this effect except for Battlin Boxer. Which is not a problem because almost every monster you're gonna special summon mostly is Battlin Boxer. But it's a very good card. It's a card, special summon a Battlin Boxer in your graveyard, and then you can go for your XYZ plays. If you have an uppercutter in your graveyard, you can get the Surge. If you have a promoter in your graveyard, you can tribute and special summon 2 Battlin Boxer with different names from your deck. And then we got Veil. Veil is pretty good because it has an effect where when you take damage, battle damage, you can special summon this card for your hand. If you do, gain life points equal to the damage you took. So basically, you take the damage, but you special summon it, and then you gain the life points damage that you took damage back. So it's pretty good as extender. Glass Jaw is also good as well. When this card is targeted for an attack, destroy this card. When this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target 1 Battlin Boxer monster in your graveyard, except for Glass Jaw, add that target to your hand. It's pretty good, like if you want to add your promoter from your graveyard to your hand, or uppercutter, or any other Battlin Boxer monster. It's very, very good. So 2 copies of each of these is fine in my opinion. So they're really, really good. Alright, and for the 1-ups of the Battlin Boxers, I do play 1 copy of Battlin Boxer Headgear and 1 Battlin Boxer Shadow. So Headgear is pretty good. He has an effect when this card's normal summon, you could send 1 Battlin Boxer monster from your deck to the graveyard. Once per turn, this face-up attack position card cannot be destroyed by battle. Very, very good. So he's your Foolish Burial. It's good, like if you have another Battlin Boxer in your graveyard and you have Headgear, and then you Foolish Bury your Glass Jaw, then you get Glass Jaw's effect to search and stuff. Or you can even send your Uppercutter from your deck to the graveyard, and you can get Uppercutter's effect to special summon the Battlin Boxer monster, or you could take a counter target from your graveyard and set it face down to your field. And Shadow is actually pretty good as well. During your main phase, you can detach 1 XYZ material from a Battlin monster XYZ you control, and if you do special summon this card for your hand, but you can only use that effect of Shadow once per turn. It's pretty good, like if you have this card and you got Leok, you can detach the material from Leok, and then Leok's effect gains the 800 attack points and stuff, and you get it extended for Shadow, and then you can go for your XYZ plays as well. So it's pretty cool. Alright, so those are all the Battlin Boxer monsters. I do play some hand traps in this deck. And the hand traps I do play in this deck is 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, and the 2 copies of Effect Veiler. These 2 cards, so these hand traps are very useful because you do need to play a lot of hand traps in this deck. And Ash Blossom is a fire attribute, which is very important because I'm going to show you the spell card when I get to that, and I'm going to tell you why Ash Blossom is important, why her fire attribute is important in this deck, which I will get to. So that's it for the monsters. Now for the spells, I do play 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Spirit and the 1 copy of Ring Announcer. So these are the spell cards for Battlin Boxers. Spirit is a monster reborn for Battlin Boxer. He has an effect where you can send the top card from your deck to the graveyard, then target 1 Battlin Boxer monster from your graveyard, special summon that target in face-up defense position, but you can only activate 1 Boxing Spirit per turn. So Battlin Boxer Spirit, pretty good, but remember, you only have to activate this card if you have a Battlin Boxer monster in your graveyard, so do keep in mind. And Ring Announcer is pretty good, it's a card that came out January of this year from the Maze of Amazing deck, I think it's called, from that set. Ring Announcer is pretty good. You only need 1 of this card. What this card does is, this card is always treated as a Battlin Boxing card. Special summon 1 Battlin Boxer monster from your hand, then you can destroy spells and track cards on the field up to the number of XYZ monsters you control, but you can only activate 1 Ring Announcer per turn, so it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good to like special summon a Battlin monster from your hand and destroy, spells and track cards up to the number of XYZ monster you control. It's pretty useful at times. So, Spirit at 3 is good, and Ring Announcer is good at 1. Alright, for the other spell cards that I do play, I play 3 copies of Regenki. Regenki's pretty good because you want to get rid of all your opponent's monsters as quickly as possible, and this card is amazing. I mean, Regenki at 3 though, oh man, awesome. And for the 2-ups, I do play 2 copies of Twin Twisters, and I also play the 2 copies of Rank Up Magic Quick Chaos. So Twin Twisters is pretty good. And the good thing about this card, if you have this card and you have like a Glass Jaw or whatever, you can discard it and you get the effect from the graveyard. And as well, of course, you do have to destroy 2 spell cards on the field. It's pretty good. It's pretty good like if you have like a a glass jar in your hand, or if you have a Battlin Boxer monster and you have like a switch in your hand, and then you activate twin switch to destroy 2 of your opponent's spells. Of course, you discard a Battlin Boxer monster from your hand and destroy 2 spells and traps, and then you normal summon switch turning, and then you can get that monster back from the graveyard and stuff. So there's a lot of ways you can go for your XYZ easily using twin twisters as help. Very good. And rank up match a quick chaos, because we do play a couple of chaos monsters in our extra deck as well, so that's why this card is here. And quick chaos is a very good quick play spell, because I like to play this card. I like this card probably better than the other rank up magic, because it's a quick play spell and it's a lot easier. Alright, so as for the 1-up spell cards, first I'm going to show you 1 copy of Monster Reborn, 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army, and 1 copy of Foolish Barrier. Monster Reborn, you know, special summon a monster in graveyard to your side of the field, helps out a lot. Rhoda's is pretty good, because since all the Battle Box monsters are level 4, as well as warrior type monsters, so definitely play Rhoda for the search. And Foolish Bear is pretty good, so that way you can get your consistencies and all that other stuff that you need. Very important, especially if you want to send like your Glassjaw or your Uppercut or any other monster from the graveyard, or if you have a switcher in your hand, activate Foolish Barrier, send a Battle Box monster, and then normal summon the switcher, and then special summon the Battle Monster in the graveyard, so it's pretty good. And also, I do mention, guys, that there is 1 spell card from Battles of Legends Terminus Prevents that I do play in this deck, and that's the 1 copy of Oil. Oil is actually really good in this deck. And if you want to know what Oil does, it has an effect where you can target up to 2 level 4 lower fire monsters with different names in your graveyard, add them to your hand. You can only activate 1 Oil per turn. And the fact that we play and Battlin Boxer is all fire attribute monsters. And you know what else is a fire attribute monster? Your Ash Blossom and George Spring. The good thing about this card is amazing. The good thing about Oil, like, if you already use your Ash Blossom already, right? And let's say you have that card and you have another Battlin Boxer on your graveyard, you got Oil, you can activate the Oil, and you can get your Battlin Boxer monster and your Ash Blossom, add them to your hand, and then, you get your Ash Blossom to use defense to negate an opponent's card. And it's very, very good. That's why I said earlier that Ash Blossom's attribute of fire is very important, since Oil is a very good spell card for, any deck with fire attributes. And that's pretty good. Like, you use the hand trap Ash Blossom, and if you ever want to use it again, you can bring it back with using the effect of Oil. And then even your Battlin Boxer monster as well. And yeah, I do play Oil at 1 because only because it has an effect where you can only activate it 1 Oil per turn. Will I ever play like 2 or 3 of these in the future? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure, but I'll see what I can do. But Oil is a very good spell card to play. Definitely play this card in Battlin Boxers. That's it for the spells. So as far as the traps, I only play 5, and the trap cards I do play, they're all counter traps. I play 2 copies of Battlin Boxing Cross Counter, 2 copies of Jork Counter, and 1 copy of Flamvale Counter. So these are the counter trap cards we play. Cross Counter is good. It has an effect where when your opponent activates a monster effect, destroy 1 Battlin Boxer monster or number XYZ monster you control, and if you do, negate the evacuation if you destroy that monster. Then you can apply the following effect: special summon 1 Battlin Boxer XYZ monster from the extra deck with a different name than the first monster. If you do, attach this card to as an XYZ material, but you can only activate 1 cross counter per turn. It's a very good card, negate an opponent's monster effect, and then of course you do have to destroy your Battlin Boxer XYZ monster in order to do that, or a number of XYZ monster, and then special summon another Battlin Boxer XYZ monster for the extra deck and stuff with a different name, and then use cross counter as an XYZ material. It's pretty good. I actually like this card. It's a very good counter trap. And Joke Counter, not a lot of Battlin Boxers play this card, but I do play Joke Counter because this card is actually pretty good. Because it has the effect where during the battle phase, when a spell and trap card or a monster effect is activated while you control a Battlin Boxer monster, negate the evacuation, you destroy that card. So do keep in mind you do have to control a Battlin Boxer monster, and it has to only activate during the battle phase, but it's still pretty good to play. Then we got Flamvale Counter. Flamvale Counter is good because it negates a spell or trap card when it's activated. Of course, you do have to banish 1 fire monster with 200 defense from your graveyard to negate the spell trap card and destroy it. And the Battlin Boxer monster that has 200 defense is your Battlin Boxer Uppercutter. So once you got Uppercut in the graveyard, then you got Flamvale Counter. And the good thing about these cards, these are counter traps that you can search using the effect of your Uppercutter. So it's pretty good. So these counter traps at 5, it's amazing. Very good counter traps to play in this deck. Alright, so that's it for the main deck and as well for the traps. Now we're going to move on to the extra deck. And of course, I do keep in mind, Battlin Boxer is an XYZ based deck, so all my monsters in the extra deck are XYZ. So now we're going to move on to the Battlin Boxer XYZs that I do play. For the 3-ups, I do play 3 copies of Battlin Boxer King Dempsey and 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Lee Yoke. So these are the 3-ups that I play. King Dempsey is amazing in this deck. This is a very good XYZ monster. What he does is, if this card is special summon, you can take a level 4 lower fire monster or 1 Battlin Boxing spell and trap card from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Quick effect, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card from a monster you control, and if you do, apply the following effects. Your opponent cannot target Battlin Boxer monsters you control with card effects for the rest of this turn. You can only use each effect of King Dempsey once per turn. So it's pretty good. So it's a Searcher and a Foolish Burial, and you can activate either one of those to get a level 4 lower Fire Warrior monster or a Battlin Boxer spell or trap card. You know, it's pretty cool, especially like if you want to search for your counter traps or your Battlin Boxer monsters. Is pretty good, and a very good quick effect too. Like, you know, and the good thing about it, you can attach any other Battlin Boxer monsters, Battlin Boxer XYZ monsters as a material, not just King Dempsey. So that's pretty cool as well. And of course, it does protect your Battlin Boxer monster from being targeted by an opponent's card effect. So it's pretty good. And then we also got Lee Yoke right here. Lee Yoke is really good. I like this card 3. Some people play at 2. I think 3 is better in my opinion. Lee Yoke has an effect where if a Battlin Boxer monster you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effects, you can attach 1 XYZ material from this card instead of destroying one of those monsters. When an XYZ monster is detached from this card gains 800 attack points. So it's a protection and a beat stick. So it give Lee Yoke more power and becomes stronger too. So these cards at 3 is amazing. Alright, next cards I do play in this deck. So these are the number Battlin Boxer XYZ that I do play, and of course I do play the quick play spell, rank up magic quick chaos for these cards. So I'm going to show you what they are right now. So I do play 2 copies of number 79 Battlin Boxer Nova Kaiser, the 1 copy of number C79 Battlin Boxer General Kaiser, 2 copies of number 105 Battlin Boxer Star Celeste, and the 1 copy of number C105 Battlin Boxer Cosmic Celeste. So these are the cards that I do play in this deck. So Nova Kaiser is pretty good in this deck as well. I like Nova Kaiser because it has an effect where once per turn you can attach 1 Battlin Boxer monster from your hand or graveyard to this card as an XYZ material. This card gains 100 attack points for each XY materials attached to it. When this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card by battle or card effects and sent to the graveyard, you can target level 4 lower Battlin Boxer monsters in your graveyard up to the numbers of XYZ materials this card has on the field. Special summon those target. So it's pretty good. Like, you know, for each XY material that this card attached to, it gains 100 attack for each one. And then when it gets destroyed by an opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, special summon those Battlin Boxers monsters that were attached with Nova Kaiser. And the good thing about that, if that does happen at times, you get all your Battlin Boxer monsters back. It's good, like if you can special summon your uppercutter, you can get the effect to search during your opponent's turn, stuff like that. It's very good. Then we got the Chaos number 79. General Kaiser is very good as well. He has an effect where this card gains 200 attack points for each materials attached to it. Once per turn, when your opponent would special summon a monster quick effect, you could detach 2 materials from this card, and if you do negate the summoning. If you do, then destroy that monsters. If this card has number 79 Nova Kaiser as material, it gains this effect. Once per turn, when this card attack is declared involving a Battlin Boxer monster and an opponent's monster, you could send 1 Battlin Boxer monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, attach that opponent's monster to this card's material. So that's pretty good. Taking your opponent's monster as a material for Nova Kaiser is pretty good, and also negate the special summoning of opponent's monster and destroy it is incredible. So it's like a solemn judgment, basically. It's pretty good. And then we got number 105, you know, Star Celeste, has an effect where during either player's battle step, if a Battlin Boxer monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you could attach 1 XY0 from this card negate the effects of your opponent's monster until the end phase of the turn. That monster you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes any battle damage you wouldn't take it from that battle. So that's pretty good. So instead of you taking the damage, your opponent takes the damage. It's very, very good. And then the Chaos version number 105, Cosmic Select, has effect where when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle sent to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of the destroyed monster's original attack points. If this card has number 105 Star Select as an XYZ material, this card gains effect. Once per turn, you can attach one XY material from this card, then target one monster your opponent controls, destroy, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's attack points on the field. So it's pretty good. Destroy an opponent's monster and then inflict battle damage to your opponent is very, very good in this deck. So I really like these cards. It's pretty cool. Alright, so that's it for the Battlin Boxer XYZ. And as far as the non-Battlin Boxer XYZ I do play in this deck, this does come up at times, not that much due to, you know, like cards like Promoter, Uppercut, because, you know, some of the Battlin Boxer monster, when you activate their effects, you only have to special summon Battlin Boxer monster. But if there's the times when you don't have those cards, you can actually summon out the non-Battlin Boxer XYZ monsters. And the only ones that I do play in this deck is one copy of number 39 Utopia, one copy of number C39 Utopia Ray, and one copy of number S39 Utopia the Lightning to round up the XYZs in the extra deck. So this is the Utopia package that I do play. You know, you always got to summon out Utopia, then Utopia Ray, and then the Utopia the Lightning. The reason why we play this card is because we need to get extra material to use the effect of Utopia the Lightning, because Utopia Lightning has an effect where once per chain, during either player's collision, if this card battles an opponent's monster while this card has a Utopia XYZ monster material, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card. This card gains attack. This card's attack becomes 5,000 during the damage collision only. So that's the reason why we play Utopia Ray for extra material. If you ever want to use the effect maybe twice, you know, once per chain. And of course, Utopia has effect where, you know, if this card attacks, you know, when it if this card battles, your opponent cannot activate any card's effect until the end of the damage step. So it's pretty good. Utopia the Lightning is here just in case if you ever get a chance to go for it. So, and playing the Utopia package is very useful. It's very good. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy me doing my updated version of my Battlin Boxer deck profile. A deck that is an XYZ based deck, and it's a lot of fun. And ever since they got the new support, it's done very well and it's a lot more fun to play. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. So don't forget to like the video, share, and subscribe, and post your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about my updated version of my Battlin Boxer deck profile. That's gonna be it for this video. So this is Domingo Hero Network of the Ice Barrier. All I can say is take care, have a good day, goodbye. Domingo Hero Network of the Ice Barrier is signing out. Peace.